If you like movies, well, guess what? So do we. That's why we created a new channel. It's called Good Critic, Bad Critic, where a Brit, a Yank, and yours truly, the biggest Muppet in the world, try to make sense of all the movies that we just saw, and we have a great time doing it, and we talk nonsense. Check it out. There's a link in the description below this video, and there's also a link on the main channel page. And if you check it out and you don't like it, just tell us to f*** off. Well, I hope you guys like this choice, because I've been dying to do this one. For the Alan Partridge fans, this is what I'm replacing Alan Partridge with for now. I just want to do this one. It's kind of like the same as when I did fucking, why can't I think of, The Day Today. I'm so terrible with remembering names, not just people's names, but names of shows, man. I fucking suck. I am lame as shit. I'm sorry. The Day Today. It's the same as when I did the Day Today reactions. I put a pause on the Alan Partridge stuff and then did the Day Today for a while, just because it was one season. Even though Alan Partridge is in that. I don't think he's in this, but maybe I've been told before. It's been a long time since I got requests for brasseye reactions, but I don't remember anybody saying that Alan Partridge is in this one. So if he is, forgive me, but I don't think he is. He was probably a big shot at this point, because this was made, what, like 2000, 2001, something? I don't know. When was brasseye made? Let's look it up real quick, since I'm already wasting your time. Brasseye television series 1997 to 2001. Okay. And then there's Jam, which is really dark. You know, there were some issues I had with Jam. I did it. There was a couple of Jam reactions that I did that you guys have probably seen on YouTube. And then there was 2 more, but I deleted them. I should have just posted them on here. I'm sorry about that. Since this is the censor-free version of my channel on Patreon. Yeah, I did a couple brasseye reactions I did. There's like weird music in the background, and it was blocking the video from being uploaded on YouTube. And I got so mad that I deleted them immediately, and I should have just posted them, because that shit, you know, that's what I should have done, since this is Patreon. So I apologize for that. So those are lost, unfortunately. But brasseye, 1997 to 2001. So yes, Alan Partridge fans, I am putting this time with Alan Partridge on hold. I know that's next, and I'm going to do this. And then once we finish this up, then I'll get back to this time with Alan Partridge, which should be a doozy. Knowing me, knowing you is still my favorite of that. But some of you guys have said that this is even better than The Day Today, which is hard to believe, because I love The Day Today. That might even be top 5 shows I've reacted to, maybe, because it was very good. Like over 90% of these shows that you guys have recommended are just awesome, though. So pat yourselves on the back. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Let's get into it. And man, fuck you, Tyrell. I just got a text from one of my buddies giving me shit about something. But anyway, let's get on with this. Here we go.
I would have had more, but I was full of shekels.
Well, this is it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where they are crushed inside those lorries.
The vets hit them with planks. Vets.
Yeah, but enormous, mate. They're so huge, they're in
Listen,
agony.
boo-hoo about calves. They do that with crabs. I don't see you weeping about crabs.
Well, I think every animal has as much right to decent treatment as we do.
Yeah.
You're wrong, and you're a grotesquely ugly freak. Thanks. Animal rights. It's an extremely controversial subject, and it's not just the odd dinner party punch-up over squealing meat. It's the...
Yo, I love it already. I love it already. 30 seconds in, I'm hooked.
Spaniards chucking horses out of church towers. The Chinese sucking the brains out of live monkeys. And now this, a shocking example taken from a recent Libyan news.
The footage shows a ritual from the feast of Eid al-Adha, an outdoor celebration in which the men of Tripoli have a great time, but the same cannot be said for their cattle. At the climax of the feast, a cow is rounded up and driven into a metal tube, a tube which is charged with explosives. The cow is fired through the air and lands in a crunched-up bone heap. Running men then clobber any remaining life out of it with their fists and feet and sticks. The body is dragged about and then left for the dogs and jackals. And possibly scorpions if they eat meat, I don't know.
Tonight on Brasseye, animals.
Pure, unadulterated Muppetry. Okay, yes. You guys know I love it when it's like that.
Are we too nice or too nasty?
Are we gonna get another one of those wild intros? Yeah.
Over the
Fucking love it, dude. Keep going, please.
centuries, man's relationship with animals has been complex. In ancient Egypt, felines were worshipped because the Egyptians thought they were funny. Many of today's familiar relics are cat monuments. These vast cat heads were built underground and seen by no one. Europe too has its animal traditions. In Zaragoza, the streets still get crazy with the annual running of the wasp. In Britain in the last century, it was quite acceptable for a young gentleman to lose his virginity to one of London's many whore dogs. Dickens and
Those poor dogs. Those poor dogs.
Prince Albert both boasted of their experience. Today,
Oh, wow.
animals are used more discreetly as a vital lubricant in the wheels of government.
It was my job for 17 years to procure wild beasts for the House of Parliament and to get bats, gibbons.
Ex-civil servant Foster Pan purchased over 1,000 animals to work in Westminster.
Michael Heseltine finds it very useful if he's angry to have an ape to slap. Kenneth Clark has a baby moose in a cupboard.
The most commonly used animals are zebras, hurrying between offices with documents pinned to their bodies.
Wait. Play that again. The way you said zebra.
Kenneth Clark has a baby moose in a cupboard.
The most commonly used animals are zebras,
Zebras? That has to be intentional.
hurrying between offices with documents pinned to their bodies.
Tony Benn had a tapier in the 70s that used to send messages on around Whitehall. Rude messages to the Lords, I always remember. He used to pin to the head of the tapier. Most of it was great fun. I enjoyed the job. The only real difficulty I had was trying to haul a basking shark up the Thames for Jack Ashley. It didn't really work out. It died after about 3 days being tethered to the terrace. Jack was quite unpopular after that for a while.
So much for the fat brass of Westminster, but this East London boozer knows all about animal abuse. Because here, every week, beer users gather to watch large men fight with weasels.
Oh
There's
no!
about 40 men in a room, standing round in a ring, and a bag above your head. Somebody pulls a string, the weasels cascade out onto you, and you've got as short a time as possible to dispatch them all. I've seen a man die weasel fighting. When you're fighting a weasel, he's bigger than a man.
Nice hair.
And there is money in it, if you're good. There's other perks as well. The women, they fancy you if they see you kicking the shit out of a weasel.
Do they? Do they? Why?
After 13 years in which he pulped over 4,000 weasels, Bernard Lering suffered a compound nervous breakdown.
I lost it, and I just picked up a living doing otters, which are very easy, very docile animals. And even when they pump them full of rat hormones, which they do, you can kill an otter in about a second. Just kick its face off.
There are many legal sports that kill animals too.
I think the thing that people get fussed about is that a fox is a small, brown, furry animal, very much like a dog. I don't think they'd be nearly so worried if it was a little four-legged car full of chips.
The evil in our relationship remains a paradox.
Dude, he's playing already he's played, what, like 4 different characters in this show? Maybe 5? Dude, Chris Morris is putting work in this show. I'm very impressed already.
If you plot number of animals abused against what makes people cruel versus intelligence of either party, the pattern is so unreadable you might as well draw in a chain of fox heads on sticks. And if you do that, an interesting thing happens. The word cruel starts flashing. So, are we cruel to hunt foxes?
The fox feels nothing. It's made of string.
Or are we too nice? This is a busload of flies that are being sent on holiday to Africa. They'll enjoy Somalia, but should they? Can it possibly be right for gene men to play with DNA?
This one survived a couple of days and then just keeled over and died.
Is this wrong?
How on earth can you justify this?
Oh my God,
Ever
dude.
come up with a reasonable argument?
See, yet again, you guys have numbed me to fucking animal torture with this dark-ass comedy, man. You guys have changed my nature.
For this? Of course, animals and man have coexisted since long before we all evolved. But while cruelty still makes our hearts bleed like fresh operation scars in a hot bath, our daily language is full of abuse with expressions like frog stupid. Why? For some answers, David Jatt asked Carla Lane for them.
I saw something in the paper this morning waiting. A bulldog mauled a girl. We don't want that.
No.
But when
we
you
wouldn't like a
read
girl
on...
to maul a bulldog either.
No.
No.
But when you read on, you learn that some boys threw the bulldog into the garden to get a fight together.
Yeah.
Now, the bulldog was put down, but nobody said, what did they do to the bulldog before they put it in the garden?
They take the tail,
But
they wind it up like that, they
Yes.
crank it, they tweak its central nervous system, and it goes like a bloody rocket.
Yes.
And the fact is
But
that...
they put
what
it
would
down,
you do, though,
no
to those-
thought.
Of course. Now, they put the dog down. What would you like to see to happen to the people that wound up its tail and fired it off like some elastic-powered...
There are
glider?
no words to describe. Prison's not good enough because
No.
prisons become bed and breakfast and telly.
Prison's too good. What about jail?
Perhaps they ought to be...
They should have their coccyx twisted.
Yes.
That would
And now
sort them
people
out.
are going to say... Oh,
Can I
yeah.
just say, this, which has been prepared by the news graphic people, represents what's going on in one way. Is that the sort of thing that you would agree with?
Human version of it. Yes. No, I think so. Because I've been 20 years going to
bet.
the ministers and they're finding out what man does.
Yeah.
Not only to calves and sheep,
But-
to everything. Frogs' legs they're onto.
Weasel fighting in the East End?
Everything.
I mean, pulling live weasels out of the wild and making them fight a man.
Yeah, and you know, they do have endearing, wonderful habits, animals. I had 2 guinea pigs and they were both 11 years old
Jesus.
and one died.
Yeah.
And you know, just before it died, it washed its little face.
From what you're saying, have we got it right or wrong? So far,
What, people?
people.
Wrong.
We're right
100
here.
million times people wrong.
What chance of getting even here?
Oh my God, I'm so glad I started watching this. Oh, man.
Let alone here. Oh dear. Not much.
Here?
Never in my lifetime or yours.
Just watch
How
this
many
then.
thousand years?
We're trying this, and there's a tension, and it's just going to go back like that.
I think so.
During the Blitz, when many clocks were destroyed, Londoners could tell the time by watching a dog throw itself off a highboard, which it did precisely every 60 seconds, 24 hours a day for over 8 months.
Institutionalized cruelty is one thing, but the twisted brain wrong of a one-off man-mental is quite another. Ted Maul disturbs.
Arable Wiltshire, a peaceful country haven supporting rural life like something out of a cheese ad. It doesn't look troubled.
But it is, at least for one of these cows. Thanks to money, this, and a human mind as bent as a bad hedge.
6 months ago, life for a cow here at Park Farm was pretty much like this.
Nothing much going on here.
But last June, out of nowhere, anti-cow slogans started appearing on the sheds.
Anti-cow slogans? Fuck off! Fuck off with that! Anti-cow slogans! Oh my god! Dude, we're not even halfway through, and Chris Morris is... Dude, he put work in this one. Because the day-to-day had like a recurring cast, where this one, so far, it seems like he's doing like all the characters. He's probably done like 8 characters now. And we're not even halfway. He must have worked his ass off for this show. Props to him, man.
The text, specifically designed to undermine the cow's confidence. Local press caught whiff of a weird one when the vandal shot his paint straight at the cow in the form of words like twat, and later fucknut and arse candle, as the campaign plunged into overdrive. Next came a wave.
Wait, hold on, rewind that. I'm sorry.
Form
hold
of
on,
words
I gotta
like
twat,
and later fucknut and arse candle.
Why does it have 3 stars on it? It should have 2. Unless it's arse. It could be that. I just thought of that, so. You know, arse candle. You know. So, it could be that. I apologize. Let's continue.
As the campaign plunged into overdrive. Next came a wave of sick attachments. Cow attached to a filing cabinet. Cow attached to a mini engine in a shopping trolley. What sort of mind would do this?
And what's the result?
We contacted a huge bank of psychiatrists in the States.
we thought so
They
too.
told us
Fine,
the
hang on.
guy's a homo.
No.
Then a breakthrough. The vandal was caught on camera.
You got no knickers, have you?
This farmer's son's handycam footage shows him at work,
Come on, fuck off.
whispering inept insults down a wire straight into the cow's head.
Don't you know what electricity is? These little planets in the wire, isn't it?
The man was Simon Hotrin.
Oh, no, oh, it's him. It's him. That's, it's Jim. I apologize. I've forgotten this actor's name like a dozen times. But it's, Jim from Friday Night Dinner. And, he was also in Spaced. As Brian. He played Brian in Spaced. Where he was freaking out all the time.
Chop.
Push off my wire.
He does odd jobs and lives in a field.
Toss ours.
But that night, Chop had discovered a bad new hobby.
Idiot, fucking idiot, 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 idiot. Stupid, stupid, fucking idiot.
It seemed the resulting court action would be an open and shut case, but it wasn't. These pics from the Beebs Western Region show.
But what, free on a technicality?
Local feeling ran high. One activist got so angry he donned a cow suit and lammed Hotrin right outside the court. Wow, he chopped him in the gob. And he's legged it. Great running. He may have been free, but Chop owed the world an explanation.
Right, I'm gonna muck your lens, right, you gay sod?
Hotrin prevented himself giving us a real interview, but during our visit we gleaned vital clues from some documents we nicked through an open window. These docs show that Hotrin had been driven nuts because the land on which he lives is owned by the cow. In the will of Edith Bates, a local crone who loved cattle, then eccentric, now dead, the cow inherited the land and a special bank account for stockpiling rent.
I don't know. This is episode 1. This is episode 1. I feel like this is even wilder than the, and nuttier. Excuse me. I feel like it's even nuttier than the day today, man. This is crazy.
Meanwhile, for the beast, which knows nothing of money or bitter mankind,
life has become a living cowmare, thanks to the thoughtless beneficence of a mad old woman.
So far, do we have it right or wrong? Let's have a look at the answer, Prancer. Thanks. Found out exactly what to think next.
Still to come up, David Jatt meets Peregrine Worsthorne.
Here's a point. We execute wasps, but we don't execute dogs.
We execute wasps because they sting us, and dogs give us pleasure.
Do wasps really sting us?
Well, they do. They have stung me, and it seemed like a sting.
Was it actually a sting?
I call it a sting. I mean, I'm a
You see, I've
creature of habit.
never been stung by a wasp. I don't necessarily believe we're told they sting.
Well, I have been.
That's the conspiracy that we should all dive into right now. Do wasps sting? I don't believe it. I don't believe wasps sting. Never been stung? It must be fake. This show is batshit crazy. I love it.
Stung by a wasp, and they do sting.
People say that snakes sting and snakes bite.
I haven't been stung by a snake, I'm glad to say.
Well, that's because they bite.
If I had, I would, or bite.
Now that, weirdly, I believe, and yet I've never been bitten by a snake. Why don't I believe, why do a lot of people not believe that wasps sting?
Well, come out into our garden in South Bucks and, on a summer's day. I'll find you a wasp, and I think...
Sting me with it.
What?
You'd sting me with a wasp.
This is a conversation...
Yes.
Yes, it is. A weird one, but yes. I'll tell you what, with the day-to-day, I think one of my favorite parts was that way over-the-top intro. You know? And this fucking kid just goes on and on and on.
Yes.
The music, yeah. Now we're going again.
Before it all stops, a school tour for the Oxford Don who believes all animals are vegetarian.
Now, what do crocodiles eat? Natalie?
Other animals.
No, they...
Oh god. Oh my god. This might be the craziest show I've ever watched yet. I can't believe it. You know, it's been what? How long since I started the Patreon now? It's been 2 years since I started the Patreon. It's been like 3.5 since I started the channel. Or something like that. And every time I think I've done the wildest and wackiest shows, I'm still... You guys hit me with another one. And this one, holy God.
Grass.
Why wildlife documentaries are often misleading.
There is some very famous footage of a lion killing a wildebeest. How do you explain that?
The lion may have been chasing the wildebeest. In fact, it was chasing it to catch up with it, to give it a potato.
And can animal breeding go too far? A discussion point for David Jatt and horse jumper Oliver Skeet.
Is it because they don't have legs that it makes spherical cows so bad? Or is it because that there's some kind of cruelty involved? I mean, what?
Actually, I'm not actually sure what they do to the cows, right?
Well, they breed them in a particular direction, interfere with their genes, so they're just a big ball of meat.
No, well, you see, I wouldn't like to eat that. Definitely. If I knew I was eating that, I would go absolutely mad. It's like somebody putting, I don't know, a bit of snot in a bit of bread and giving it to you. It's the same.
Really, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Somebody's at a restaurant, you give you this scenario, right? Somebody out there, and they get what they think is a piece of spherical cow on their plate. What do?
They just eat it, don't they?
Yeah, but what should they do, for God's sake? Yeah.
Well, I mean, what they should do, really, is make us think about it. They should start phoning up people and start complaining about, the meat that they're eating.
This came from a spherical cow. How dare you sell this to me?
That's right, of course.
There was more good news for animals with Mike Fox's elephant campaign last month. Let me explain. If this elephant was called Mike Fox, then it would have exactly the same name as the man that did the campaign about the elephant last month.
Mike Fox.
They actually got a real elephant for that shot. That's crazy.
Fox and Andrew Dean. These men hate zoos.
least it
Together,
looked like a real
they
elephant.
run the World Organization for Decreasing Captive Animal Problems, WAFTCAP, which incorporates against animal anger and autocausal abuse atrocities in zoos.
Look at that fucking logo! That's insane! A monkey in a cage getting his brains blown out! And it's a goddamn corporate logo! What is this show?
2 weeks ago, they read about Carla, an East German elephant who'd been so upset by captivity she'd stuck her trunk in her anus. In seconds, a campaign was born to publicize Carla's plight in a video and tell the world about...
I can't get over that fucking logo, dude! I fucking can't! Oh my god!
Leukosis, the disease that drives animals nuts. Jilly Cooper was busy writing a book.
Hello, has Jilly come out of her shed?
Speaking.
But Fox persuaded her to send a drawing of Carla in her plight.
Thank you very much for your picture.
Oh.
And we showed it to Carla,
Oh.
and I think she gave a little elephant smile.
Oh, I love that. I want to cry. That's sweet.
The zoo is, still not acknowledging the problem,
They are bastards.
but she could be accommodated by Jimmy Page.
Absolutely. I mean, it's only because it's a terrible year for me because I'm doing this bloody book. But
Oh, bloody book.
Oh, Duck, it made me very happy.
All right, Jilly.
Okay, darling. Nice to
Thanks.
talk to you. Bye.
Bye.
With Jilly's drawing on her shirt, Britt Eklund told the world about WAFTCAP.
It's the shittiest shirt I've ever seen, man.
Last year, they stopped penguins catapulting each other through the glass roof at Sydney Zoo. Last month, they stopped a pig throwing itself out of a tree onto a python in a two-way death pact in Chester. Now they want to help Carla, an East German elephant who has got her trunk jammed up her own guts.
I can't understand the mentality or the physical makeup, mental makeup of anybody that lets an elephant get into that condition.
Paul Daniels' contribution moved all who saw it to horrible tears.
Carla the elephant is currently curled up in a kind of a grey ball. Her trunk is actually stuck up her anus, and they're not trying to help her. So we must.
Insane.
I'll give you another one that you can cut in later. I'll just say that. And you can cut it in later. Yeah, go to the elephant, go to somewhere else, all right? And still rolling? Come on, help us get that trunk out.
And so thank Christ for Wolf the Gladiator, who joined not a moment too soon.
Urgent news. Carla has started to ingest her own head. Her dung pump mechanism has blown. There's bloody vegetable gas everywhere. For God's sake, help us pull her trunk out. She needs wolf power, or she will explode in a shower of pulped
Dude, this guy looks like he could whoop my ass.
yams.
Plopped yams.
Please help me and ours get Carla's trunk out the end of her guts.
With that ace burst
That guy
of
looks
Wolf,
scary.
the WAFTCAP appeal was ready for its final phase.
You've heard a great deal about Carla, the poor little elephant in this East German zoo who's suffering horrendously, horribly. Desmond Morris, the great anthropologist, the author of The Naked Ape, who understands more about animals than probably anybody, has written this little poem about Carla. I'd like to read it to you. Aren't we a bunch of fuckwits? An elephant could no more get its trunk up its ass than we could lick our balls.
Well, after that, we're obviously pretty close to a solution. There are 3 points to remember. Firstly, cruelty has not been eliminated. These two goats are going to box each other's heads in next weekend, and there's nothing the law can do about it. On the other hand, you can be too nice. This woman spent her life savings on plastic surgery to make her dog look like Rafe Fiennes.
I think it's a little bit of... an improvement on the original.
Well, the way ahead's obviously through compromise. Next month sees the introduction of new regulations for slaughterhouses. How are these going to work?
Oh, yes, well, we kill 400 cows a week, and to redress the balance to some extent, we'll be slaughtering one member of our staff every 6 weeks, approximately.
Oh, that's where he comes in.
Yes, this is it.
Are you happy about this?
Oh, yes, yes.
Thank you so much for coming in, thank you. So whatever
Hello.
hello. So whatever you forget about tonight's programme, remember this. Introduction time. Let's talk about cows. This is the grave of a cow. As you will see, it was killed in unnecessary pain by a man. I think we agree with that, don't we, Carla?
I agree, yes.
If we think it's bad in this country, if we think it's bad in Europe, it's worse in Libya. Take a look at this piece of VT. The men gather round and finish it off with their feet, drag it through the town and leave it quite often to the jackals and dogs. In fact, the end word of this news report from the newsreader's mouth is, wow, look at that dead bastard. That incident itself that we've just seen there, the Libyan cattle slaughter, right or wrong?
Wrong.
That wrong?
Yes, absolutely wrong.
Okay, yeah, you can kill the tape.
Oh, yes, please, kill the tape.
Kill the tape.
Holy God, that was that was blatant Muppetism of the highest order, dude. One of these episodes is going to give me a heart attack, and it's probably not going to be the Pie-to-Geddon episode. I should probably mention it at the beginning because I don't know. I'm not sure if these reactions are going to make it to YouTube. I'm going to try at some point. But the Pie-to-Geddon episode, somebody was like nonstop requesting that we react to that one particular episode. So I gave it a shot, and he wanted Queen Boomer to watch too. So I said, okay, let's try to make this guy happy. And me and Queen Boomer sat down. And this is before we knew anything. Well, I knew anything about brasseye, really. So we watched the episode. Well, we tried to, because after like 6 minutes, Queen Boomer was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because she was caught so off guard, and then after like 12 minutes for me, I was like, I think I'm done with this too. So we never finished it. Just that one episode. Because it was just so fucking out there. I think now that I've seen the day-to-day and now that I'm watching this, I will appreciate it. But I've heard that episode was like banned from television. So even if if you're on YouTube watching this, even if I get to the Pie-to-Geddon episode, I'm probably only going to post it on Patreon because I've heard that it was like banned on television. So I'm scared if I put it on YouTube because I'm in good standing with YouTube. I love YouTube. I love being on it. But if I post my reaction to that, I don't know what will happen. So it might, if I ever get around to doing that, it might just be Patreon exclusive. Sorry, but I don't want to piss off the YouTube gods because they've been very kind to me. So, and yeah, they have rules, and I like to follow their rules because I like being on YouTube. So. But in terms of brasseye, man, I'm going to give it a shot, and hopefully one day it gets posted to YouTube as well. Because almost all the shows I watch now get blocked on YouTube. But anyway. Brasseye. Holy shit. That was fucking so wild, man. I think that was even crazier than the day today. I really do. And that was just one episode, and each one has a theme here. So we just did animals, then it's drugs, then it's science, then it's sex, then it's crime, then it's decline. I'm scared. This is absolutely insane. And dude, the one thing that I do really, well, two things actually. I really appreciate the hell out of Chris Morris after watching this, because he played like 15 different characters on this show. So he put his heart and soul into this. This is amazing, seeing him do this. And then two, I really appreciate the over-the-top intros and end of part one, welcome to part two, with the music and the ridiculous over-the-top animation. It's just like the day today. I absolutely adore it. It's so awesome. So yeah, this is going to be a wild season of reactions here. Dude, one of these episodes is probably going to end my life. It's probably going to give me a heart attack that I can't recover from. Oh man, and I'm looking forward to it. So, like, subscribe, do whatever you guys want, and hopefully this makes it to YouTube someday. But for those of you on Patreon, peace out. And for those of you on YouTube, if you're watching, peace out as well. Have a great day, Booms. I'll see you next time.